She sends a box of then Ralph Lauren's first edition clothing line. It was like 3 suits, 7 sweat. I mean, it was an Oprah-sized gift, and this shows up at my door in this big locker trunk as a thank you. And I'm sitting there, like, with all these clothes, feeling like I've been Oprah-ed. It's just like, wow, you get a car, and you get a car, and there's sweaters coming out, and it's all this great stuff, every color. It's like, my God, this woman is rich. But because my husband, who is my husband, he's like, we can't keep that. It's like, what? He's like, I'm in office, we don't accept gifts. Imagine that.
This episode is brought to you by Rivian and Cologuard.
Hi. Ooh. That is a very religious hi. I mean, you know, it can be church anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to bring Mrs. Obama out, but I just wanted to say something before we started, just about this book. It's very short. I'm going to look at my phone to do it. First of all, I have a baking scale, a kitchen scale. Just for kicks last night, I just put it on the scale. 4.12. That's a heavy book. And I just want to talk about the meaning of a book being this heavy. Because, I mean, this book is proof that something happened. Something unprecedented and extraordinary for millions of people. Like, we're all here because we know that something extraordinary happened. And it expanded people's lives, it changed people's lives, it changed the way people look at the world, what they think is possible. And this book, this 4.1-pound book, I mean, it's documentation that all of that actually happened. And the reason to say that is because we live in a moment where people are going to try to say that it didn't. And it did. And this book is documentation of that. So with that, give it up for Michelle Obama!
That was a catwalk. I was just like, just don't trip. Don't fall.
Have you ever tripped?
You know, Wesley, people wonder, well, what were you thinking here? What were you thinking there? I was like, don't trip, don't fall down these stairs of Air Force One. No, I never tripped because that was all I was thinking about. When there were stairs or a long walk or heels, it was just like, just 1 foot at a time. Don't become a meme.
Now, you've got other memes.
I do, but I didn't want falling to be one of them.
Those are good ones. Those are the ones you want.
Thank you for you guys, Wesley Morris. Man,
thanks.
I specifically asked for this brother to do this because you are one of the smartest, most diverse thinking, broad-minded men that I know. And I'm always impressed.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see how true that is by the time.
Okay, all right. Bars high now.
All right, so I feel like where I want to start.
Okay.
First of all, how you doing?
I'm good.
Let's start there.
I'm home. It's like everybody's here. It's like half the people in the audience I know y'all. So
And half the
that's always
other
nice.
half I know,
Right.
because my sister drove them up here. Where
Right.
are they? There they are.
Wesley brought like a busload of people. Hey y'all.
My sister Robin did it,
Okay, Robin.
and I'm glad they did.
I'm glad they
I'm glad
did
they
too.
came.
But I feel good. I'm feeling good. Glad to be home.
the
Looking
last
forward
one?
to this is the last live event. I'll do a little more press in LA in December, and then y'all, that's it. So
I think the second sort of like small talky question I have to ask, because people want to know, what are you wearing?
well, Wesley knows that I forgot to check before I put this dress on, so we were in
Class
the back.
act. Doesn't even look at the labels.
I didn't look. I knew what I was going to wear, but I don't remember sometimes. And Meredith couldn't be here because she wasn't feeling well. So this is vintage Zach Posen. Oh, yeah. And I was going to wear something else, and then you said you were wearing a suit and a tie. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
He said a mint suit.
What happened was...
Well, what had happened?
I got a text from somebody asking, what are you wearing tonight? And it was not from my sister, who also wanted to know what I was going to wear.
It's like, don't embarrass us.
And I'm like, okay. But there were no caveats.
No, there
and then
was no dress
Julia wrote
code.
back and was like, everybody just wants to make sure you guys aren't clashing.
That's right.
What would clashing look like under these circumstances? Because
You
I
know,
wore...
If you were going to come out in a tux, or if you were coming out in jeans, because there was no dress code. So I try to keep in mind, like, I don't want to come out in a ball gown and you're in jeans, right?
Michelle almost wore a tux.
Well, then I would have worn something else.
I had a long conversation with Robin about whether I should wear the tux. And I just decided I just wanted to be comfortable.
And you are, and you look good.
Also, I didn't want to be triggering to you. Like, you look at people in tuxes all the time.
Oh, you think?
Like,
Not
just
anymore, though.
Bring the pistachio.
It's been 8 years. Barack's tux is tucked away. The one tux. Oh, you all, by the way, he got another tux, finally.
Like, he has two, or he replaced the old one?
He probably replaced the old one.
So the old one's going to, I mean...
It's
Well,
going
we
to
have
the,
a Smithsonian.
It's going to the real. Yeah, we have a whole museum where stuff
I
can
mean-
go. And I'm sure that's the only thing that's going to be there. The Obama Presidential Center, the archives of many of my dresses will be there. And I keep telling Barack, that's what people are coming for. They're coming for the dresses. So there are going to be many of them up. And then he'll probably have that tan suit. And that'll be his contribution.
So
to
y'all
that
laugh
floor.
at that tan suit. That was meaningful to me. I mean, we can come back to this, because I would
Okay.
like to talk about his experience in clothes as far as you're concerned.
There were no experiences. That's a short answer. He's just now getting his fashion edge together. He's trying to keep up, but he's the kind of guy that has a pair of khaki pants from the Gap, and he just goes and replaces that pair of khaki pants.
He's a man.
The girls and I, we are shocked when he has on a color. And we try to encourage him. It's like, oh, it's purple, it's lavender. Oh, Dad, you look great. I mean, it's black, blue, tan, gray. That's his story. He could not write a book.
But I guess I'm not even going to read between the lines of, like, he can't write a book. But what I will ask, I mean, we're kind of like, we're just having a conversation now. So I'm just wondering, like, what do you think his experience was like? You know, in terms of his sartorial choices. And did you have a preference? Were you, like, did you ever hope you'd come out of the room? Because one of the most beautiful descriptions in the book is what was going on one side of a door, and what was anticipating what was going to come out or through those doors on the other side. So he's waiting for you, event after event, to emerge in the clothes that we all see, that this book is full of,
Yeah.
did you ever hope you'd open the door and see something different?
I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't going to. I mean, that's just not, Barack, that's not a part of who he is. He is not a fashion person. And he looks good in everything. I mean, he's tall, he's handsome, he's got a blue suit, a gray suit, a white tie, a white shirt, a blue shirt, maybe a stripe. I mean, it's like a handful of things, and I knew what they were going to be. So, I mean, I just truthfully know. I was like, he's like the steady, he's there, and I'm always the flower. It's like, I'm in a dress, I'm in colors, I'm in short sleeves and pants, and it's kind of like how the West Wing, East Wing felt. It felt like the East Wing was where there was color and light and joy. We had apples and children and puppies, and there was laughter. And I don't know if we have any Obama folks here, any West Wingers. I know we've got some East Wingers over there. And when the West Wing would come, the State Department, they would come for briefings if we were doing something. They always felt a little lighter. They were like, wow. My office had a pink hue. It had pretty colors in it. We always had flowers. Then you go to the West Wing, and it was war, death, horrible things, Congress.
Okay, we're done.
And so that was sort of our sartorial. He was serious, and we were joyful.
We're here now. So, you have invoked that part of the White House. Everything you're describing as light and flowers and joy and welcome is rubble. And I'm wondering how it feels. I'm wondering a few things about the East Wing aspect of your time in the White House. Because that was where you worked.
Yeah.
You did a lot of your work there. You welcomed people there. Events happened here.
Social office was there. The volunteer office was there. The place that welcomed visitors, because we did have a lot of visitors. That was one of the things we wanted to do in the White House, was open it up. Our view was, this is not our house. We are here to do a job. We're here for a term. We're here for a moment. We are caretakers of this history. And it's about bringing more people in. I was always the kid growing up on the south side of Chicago that didn't feel welcome in some of these fancy places. You go to the big store downtown, and if, all of a sudden somebody's following you, or you go into the museum and people think that you don't belong. When Barack and I were there, we were thinking about those kids like us who were outside of the gates of the South Lawn looking in, or maybe not even getting down to Pennsylvania Avenue, not knowing what it meant to be in the White House, not knowing what a state dinner was, not knowing what those rooms look like, because a lot of those kids didn't feel invited in. But those were the people who got us there. So our goal was to make that house as open as possible. And the East Wing, that was the place where that work got done, along with all the work that I did on the initiatives. I had 5 initiatives throughout the 8 years, and that work got done in that in the East Wing. That's where the First Lady's staff was located. But every president has the right to do what they want in that house. So that's why we gotta be clear on who we let in.
Okay, I'm gonna change the subject back to the book. Because I really want to talk about the title.
Of the book?
Yes. Because the title to me is deep. Like, you could have called this armor, uniforms, but you called it the look. And The things that come up when I hear this title are, I mean, there are a lot of things. Like, who's looking?
Yeah.
Which look?
Yeah.
Who were you aware of looking at you? Which look suited which? I mean, there's a lot of,
says a lot.
Talk to me about the title.
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to, and I want to take a moment just to shout out Penguin Random House, my publishers, my longtime publishers, and I know you guys are here. There's always the point when in these books where it comes time to, what are we going to call this?
Yeah.
Right? And like so much of what I do, it's a collaborative effort. And I think, the title is so good that and I don't know who threw it out, but once it was out there, everybody said, that's it. It says it all. Every word, and even the picture on the cover was gonna be a different picture because we wanted to have a cover picture that nobody had seen before. And then I don't know whether it was Chuck or which White House photographer. I think it was Chuck that took this. Who was it? Chuck. It was Chuck. This was the photo shoot from my official White House portrait. So no one had ever seen this, but I forgot about this shot. And then he showed it to the team. And that look, that sort of like, we start the book with, this is kind of where it began, but this book takes us on a complete arc. So this is is the beginning, and then there's more. But I think the look, the title itself just speaks for itself. And when you talk to the publishers, they always want one word for a title, right?
Yeah, that's where we
the
are
look,
now.
Becoming, just one. That's what we want. I see David over there. So it was a team effort, but when those words hit the Zoom meeting, we all agreed that was it. And it's about all of it.
Right,
yes,
right.
This book is about being looked at, how you look and what you look. It's how you want to be perceived. It's all of that. So while it's a book full of beautiful pictures and it's a wonderful coffee table book, I urge people to read the essays. The foreword by Farrah Griffin.
That is an excellent
It is an excellent foreword. That was something that I
Griffin.
knew when we started talking about the book. I knew that I wanted Farrah, who is a historian, sociologist, brilliant woman, dear friend, just to set the tone for why even talk about fashion. Because it's not about fashion, it's about culture, it's about race, it's about a woman's journey, it's about my journey. Farrah helps to provide a wonderful context to the essays that follow. So there's a lot in there.
This segment is brought to you by Cologuard, a colon cancer screening test that doesn't have any special prep. And Mish, have you ever put off health needs for yourself?
No, I can say that particularly now in my life, it is baked into my schedule. And I probably did that because we grew up with a father that put off health. Our dad, as many people know, had MS. And he wasn't always diligent about making sure he got his doctor's appointments, and you had to push him. And I think that sometimes that's the challenge with men, especially men in our communities. I know a lot of young men who are very hesitant when thinking about a colonoscopy. They don't know what it is. It's a scary proposition. There's just something about the process that doesn't feel right for them, and often they're putting it off. And I find myself making sure that the men in my life are not doing that.
Well, Mish, I got a chance to visit the Cologuard lab in Madison, Wisconsin, and boy, was it impressive. It is tech-enabled, automated, and state-of-the-art, leading to accurate and consistent results. Seeing their team in action showed me how committed they are to catching colon cancer early. And they do all of this because they are currently about 60 million people putting off their colon cancer screening, to your point. Many African Americans are part of a group putting off colonoscopies and have a higher rate of colorectal cancer and also, unfortunately, a higher rate of dying from it. But what was amazing is the work the Cologuard team is doing. It's an innovative company with a mission to eradicate cancer. I found it really impressive that the Cologuard test has been used to screen for colon cancer more than 20 million times. It's a no prep, that's right, no prep colon cancer screening test that is delivered to your door.
No excuses.
After seeing the lab firsthand, I really want to encourage anyone 45 or older at average risk to talk to their healthcare provider about getting screened with Cologuard. You can even request a prescription online at Cologuard.com. Don't wait. Taking control of your health is something you can do today.
Let's look at what's in there. We've got a deck of images from the book. And I just sort of want to hear you think through some of the, you all will leave here with this book, you're going to see them, but I would like to do some close reading on some of these pictures. So,
this is little Michelle Robinson at Bryn Mawr High, or elementary school. That must have been first grade, maybe third grade. It was probably first grade. And that was probably gym day because that's a sweatshirt. And I think my mom was still doing my hair, so that was one of those quick, you do the ponytails and put them up. But that was the typical going to public school. I didn't have much control over my look because I had no money. I had no resources. This was a child that, and I was still a bit of a tomboy then because I had an older brother and I was surrounded by boys. I was athletic. I loved to keep up. I boxed with my male cousins. I played catch. Anything my brother was doing, I was doing. So I wanted to be, if I had to describe my fashion desire, I wanted to be Jose Cardinal, who was the first baseman on the Chicago Cubs. And I would pick my braids out into a big fro because he wore his Chicago Cubs cap with his butt. And when I wasn't at school, that's how I wanted my hair. I wanted to be Jose Cardinal of the Cubs, first baseman.
And you write a lot. Can we have the next set of images? Or this is the next, okay.
And then I grew up.
So before we talk about this phase of your life, I want to actually go back and think a little bit about how you as a young person were thinking about what to wear.
There was a lot of dreaming and wishing.
Of who and of what?
It just, when you're young, you just want to do what the cool kids do. You want to look like the pretty girls on Soul Train, but your parents are broke and your mother sews your clothes and you're mad about it because you don't appreciate the value of a well-made pair of pants because all you want are the Gloria Vanderbilt jeans with the swan on them. So there's a lot of wanting when you grow up poor. Because, and maybe that's a good thing because there's a period of you don't get what you want. It wasn't an expectation. There was no fashion. It was practicality. I write about the fact that I used to watch Laugh-In, young people.
Laugh-In.
Laugh-In
Great
is a comedy
60s
series.
sketch show.
It's a comedy.
Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
It was one of the first sketch comedy shows.
It
was
Goldie
like
Hawn's
the SNL.
names.
Goldie Hawn, remember her? She's like 90 now, but she was
Remember
young.
her, Michelle.
I'm talking to the young
I'm
people.
sorry.
They don't know what we're talking about. But she used to dance in short mini dresses and these patent leather go-go boots. And I wanted a pair of white patent leather go-go boots. I lived in Chicago. It was snow. My mom would look, listen, laugh, and then she'd pick up those rubber boots that you put over your shoe. You'd need to put a plastic
Galoshes?
bag over your shoe. Galoshes, but they came all the way up. Yes, I know. It was so sad. But, I had no choice. So I think I was probably dreaming of a time when I could ditch my mother's ways and go out on my own.
She was your first stylist, really.
Oh, yeah. My mother was not a style icon. She was a practical woman. I love my mother, and she was very crafty. She sewed everything. She sewed our drapes. She made cushion covers. I mean, my mom didn't work until I went to high school, but she got stuff done. I mean, you'd come home and the whole house would be remade. It's like, what are you doing? My mom didn't shop for herself. She was one of those typical mothers. She put all of her energy into us. So she wasn't somebody that I looked to. She rarely dressed up. She wouldn't go to the hairdresser until we all made her. So no, my mother was not my fashion role model. So I think as a young person, I didn't know what nice stuff looked like, but it was something out there to be had.
There are a few, I've seen a few pictures, and there's definitely at least one in the book of you at Princeton at some point. And Farrah, almost really beautifully close reads this in her foreword. And it's you with your hair in braids, and you've got a denim jacket on, and the jacket is buttoned or fastened at the bottom. It's the only
Just
fasten.
so, yeah.
That is...
It created a waist.
I was going to say, that is style.
Yeah.
That is style operating.
I knew it was out there. I knew what it could be, right? But you don't get to actualize it until you graduate, get a degree, get a job, pay your loans off, and then maybe you can explore fashion. So it wasn't until even when I was practicing law, it was the 80s, 90s business suits, ladies, those horrible suits with the big shoulder pads. It was the uniform, and you'd get a red one or maybe a blue one, and maybe a tweed jacket and a black. It was very sad lawyer corporate clothes with nylons, which I hated nylons. It was that's a man invented nylons. I mean, those things, it's just cruel and expensive, and they run all the time. So even when I had resources, I lived in a uniform of work. There weren't casual Fridays. Everybody had to wear a suit all the time. So it probably wasn't until I became a public figure that I not only had the resources, but the necessity to really think about how I had to show up. And I had some flexibility. But until then, I was just getting through the day. Just I write about what it was like to even think about shopping for a suit for Barack's big convention speech. I mean, I was a typical mother. We were running around, I had a job, I had little kids, and it was like, oh my God, he's speaking at this convention thing. I need now
it's
I'm finding out.
It's an amazing part of this book, because
Yeah.
I'll interrupt to just say one thing that's extraordinary about this book, that I've not read every First Lady's memoir, but I did do some digging around before we hooked up. And just the facades of how things were maintained. Barbara Bush is maybe the only person I could find who was really sort of piercing the sort of glamour bubble a little bit about you
what
quote her
happened.
in the book actually about what she will not be doing.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's important to think about the honesty of this thing, right? The things you were letting people see in terms of, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, the process of it all.
In terms
right?
of the stresses and the
my whole
uncertainties.
thing is always like if I'm going to connect with people, the whole point is if you're going to help people, especially young people, they have to see you. They can't see some facade. They can't think that it's all magic, because then they don't think they can do it. So why I am so brutally honest about all the things, it's it looks good, but it's, swans and paddling under the water. I just want, I think my honesty is directed at young people who covet and look and want to be. And I want people to know what it all is. Let's talk about it all. And so dressing for me was like that. I was a typical working mother with a busy husband who was in politics and traveled a lot. So I heard that I had to walk on stage with him after his speech, and it was like, oh my God, I can't just wear one of these horrible suits, you know? I gotta think of something. So it's a mad dash to Bloomingdale's. Why Bloomingdale's? Because you could park there and get your parking validated. I mean, that's how you think, you know? It's like, I'm going where they validate. And so, you know, that's how I dressed. It's like, oh my God, I gotta run and do this. And then I've gotta dress two little girls. So there's also a cute little girls dress place in Bloomingdale's. I was like, I can hit that. Get two little outfits, a suit for mom, and back in the car in time for the next meeting. That was the life.
So you were doing this on your lunch break?
Yes, in between, you know, soccer and ballet and the 8th birthday party of the weekend.
Well, during this period, though, I kind of want to talk about what I would describe as like your through the looking glass moment with respect to like how you were going to present yourself and like what it would feel like to go through the looking glass. So you have this on page 44 of your books.
Oh my goodness. See, this is why I like this guy.
There's a story that you tell about, well, I think it's 43 and 44.
All right.
40 or 44. Anyway, the point, because there's some pictures in between. Oprah comes and interviews you, the both of you.
Which sounds crazy, right? Oprah comes to your house and interviews you. That's what life was like. It's like she's coming to our house.
This is before, I mean...
Does she know who you are, Barack? She thinks you're important? Okay, all right, well, get ready. It's like, wow.
Now...
That my motto then was, must have been a good speech, right? It's like he gave that speech and all of a sudden everybody knew who he was. And I was like, it's a good speech, you did a great job, let's go home, we gotta get back, we were in Boston. And then all the while it just got more ridiculous. He was on the cover of Time, and I was like, what? Oprah's coming?
This actually does sound surreal. Just imagine this person. How long had you guys been married at this point?
Oh, we had been married 7, 8 years. Math. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a while. Do the math, y'all. We had kids. The kids were little, so.
Just to like watch this person who is just like a regular schmegular guy who you know has something special.
For sure.
But
yes.
To see everybody else figure out what made you marry him is a different story.
Oh, wow. You guys are paying attention to this. So yeah, Oprah comes over.
So she comes over, has the interview. She's so grateful that y'all took the time to do it. Sends you a gift.
Oprah, this is Oprah. It wasn't a car, but it was close.
Now, I don't want to step on any punchlines here, but I know what would have happened to that car. She sends you a suit, like a camel suit.
She sends a box of then Ralph Lauren's first edition clothing line. It was like 3 suits, 7 sweat. I mean, it was an Oprah-sized gift, and this shows up at my door in this big locker trunk as a thank you. And I'm sitting there, like, with all these clothes, feeling like I've been Oprah-ed. It's just like, wow, you get a car, and you get a car, and there's sweaters coming out, and it's all this great stuff, every color. It's like, my God, this woman is rich. But because my husband, who is my husband, he's like, we can't keep that. It's like, what? He's like, I'm in office, we don't accept gifts. Imagine that. It's like, they're all lovely, pack them up and send them back. So I called Oprah. Yep, I called Oprah, and I was like, I can't keep all these things. And she was like, what? She's like, yeah, Barack's in office. You're really not supposed to accept gifts. She's like, but it's for me. And it's like, yeah, but. So we sent that stuff back. I know.
Listen.
But there's a happy ending to it because he was a state senator. He stepped down as state senator, was running for U.S. senator. In between that time, when he wasn't in office, Oprah sent the clothes back.
What?
Yes. She was watching. She was like, take them now, girl. Take them now.
All right, Michelle.
Hey.
We have done so many fun looks together
We have.
over the years. One of my personal favorites is when we started wearing your natural curls.
Yeah.
And for me, I love it because I felt like it was the opening of the freedom of post-life Michelle,
Yeah.
where you were in control and you got to do whatever you wanted with your hair. Tell me, that's the vibe that you felt as well.
I agree. I mean, I loved my hair all the time because I had wonderful stylists like you helping me. So I never had to worry about it. But as you know, I always wanted to have the freedom to live my life without you.
Yes.
I didn't want
For that.
to, I didn't want to feel like I couldn't go out, I couldn't do anything unless Yanae was there making it happen. So when we started to go into the natural looks and wearing my natural curls and even working with in Jerry with braids, I mean, the freedom that you're talking about.
Well, I know you love your braids.
I
girl.
love my braids. I
She
do.
loves her braids.
I do
I love
because
the braids too.
Well, because I'm also very active.
Yes.
I'm swimming all the time. I'm playing tennis and I can do it myself, whether you're there or not. But the natural style that you structured, I loved it because it was fully me. It was free. It was also a representation to all textured girls out there that our hair comes in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And this straight look and bouncy look is wonderful. It's fun. But the way our hair curls naturally is also beautiful and full and alive in ways that we got to celebrate.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that with braids and natural hair, you are able to be in control, right? And I think that particularly when you started wearing your hair natural, it was the rite of passage that everyone else was just like, okay, Michelle's doing it. I could do it too, right? Like everybody loved the flowy, bouncy, and I love that too. But I also love the versatility that our hair has. Our hair can be a chameleon, and there's so much that we could do with it. And so you are able to embody that and show that to everyone to kind of be like, all right, girl, you could do this too, which is extremely important. You know that I'm very big on making sure that your hair isn't just looking beautiful, but that it stays healthy.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to the products that we use. So you know that I love your braids and I love that the braids give you the versatility that you want. And which is why we've played with U parts, we've played with wigs. We've done so many different things to master the look that you want for the time and place that you are and whatever you're doing. So I love Amika. We use Amika on your hair all the time. And it is a Brooklyn-born, salon-powered brand.
Which I love that.
Yes. It's made by stylists. It is high-performing, and it has amazing ingredients like sea buckthorn for visible results. It's designed to meet all hair needs. It gives us hydration, strength, smoothness, and shine. Amika is built with stylists, not just for them, which makes pro hair care joyful, approachable, and inclusive for all. And when I want fullness or versatility from my clients, I know that True and Pure Textures Extensions, founded by Pakila Riley, who's a part of the Amika Stylist Collective, is my go-to.
And you were just telling me, what does Amika mean?
It means friend.
I didn't know that until you just mentioned it. So I love all that.
If you want to experience these same pro-love products, check out Amika at loveamika.com and use code IMO20 for 20% off through the end of February. Because with Amika, all hair is welcome, every texture, type, and style.
Okay, so I just wanted to hear Oprah's side of the story. So I reached out to Oprah Winfrey.
Of course you did.
She got back to me. And what her version of the story, you guys, perfect alignment.
Because it happened.
But what she wanted me to know was that there was another story.
Okay, which she's talking about the...
Yes.
the
she has her
birthday
Legends
party.
Ball.
Yeah.
And
Y'all, she invited me to the Legends Ball.
as what Oprah called a youngin'.
Yes.
Because you were a youngin'
I
at the
was
time.
a youngin', but I was still like, Coretta Scott King was there.
Tina Turner, Coretta
Diana
Scott
Ross.
King.
I kept walking
Maya
up to
Angelou.
her. I said, Oprah, are you sure you meant to have me here? She was like, yeah, go sit down. You're supposed to be here.
When Oprah goes sits down, you like
Yeah, right.
that,
She just like, stop asking me that. Go sit down.
don't cross that woman.
That's right.
But she said that, every year at her Legends events, she gives a gift to everybody who goes. The Legends get one, the youngins get one. And normally at the Legends events, she says, she gives out pajamas. Every year she was giving out pajamas. And this particular, your year.
Well, it was her 50th birthday, so it was a big year for her. It was the big one, right?
Well, Gail is like, girl, don't be giving people pajamas. Enough with the pajamas. We've enough. Don't do it. Mm-hmm. So Oprah's like, what can I give people? What would mean a lot that aren't pajamas that would really entertain everybody and not tick Gail off? So she's like, what about a little black diamond hoop earrings?
Well, there were two different types of earrings.
And the teardrop,
The Legends got these big diamond teardrops. And then the young'uns got these big diamond hoops with black and white diamonds on either side. So we're at this luncheon where everybody gets the gift and they're opening up. Again, you get a car, you get diamonds, you get diamonds. And I open mine up and I look at Oprah. And she's like, you can't keep that. I was like, I can't keep these. So everybody's like, they're putting their diamonds on. And all these are like great. I was like, you all don't have nice stuff? I would think like all of you all
Tina
have
Turner
had,
is just rolling in the
like
aisles.
I'm the only one in that
Diamonds!
group that's broke, right? And they were so happy with these diamonds. And I was like, I can't keep this. And she's like, really? I was like, I can't keep it because he was a U.S. Senator then.
Well,
So-
her version of this story, once again, y'all are on the newlywed game. Your stories match up. But what she really wanted to emphasize in telling me this second story was that y'all are good people. Y'all wanted to stay on the right side of all the laws because, you know how it is. Count the people who, every day you hear about people taking gifts and the gifts are like gold bars. This is a gift from one of the most famous people on planet Earth. Can't keep it. And I think what she wanted me to run it by you, but she also wanted me and the rest of us to know that from the beginning, y'all were ethical. Conscientious. And, she knew she'd chosen the right people to align her values with.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that starts at the top. That's, one of the reasons why many reasons why I love and respect my husband. That's who he is. He's not extravagant, but he believes in the importance of symbolism. And when you are the commander-in-chief, there's a standard at which, you have to set for the American people. And some of these things aren't even laws. They're just norms. They're just things that you do because you don't want the people to feel like wealthy people have a different level of access and, access to power. So that means you got to say no a lot. Our motto was like, if it looks like fun, we can't do it.
Oh my God, put that on every bumper sticker in this town. All right, but let's talk about some of the symbolism. Can we have, well, let's do the slide that was previously up, and then we'll just sort of go through them. So this is you wearing Jason Wu to the inaugural, to one of the inaugural balls.
The first one.
Talk to me about this,
The
the moment, the dress, what the experience was like, because this is you going through another portal, essentially.
Yes, for sure. I mean, there were so many portals in this time in our lives, and it was all very surreal. The whole day was surreal. I mean, many of you all were there. It was 800 below. It was like the coldest weather possible.
You wore 2 pairs of pantyhose.
2 pairs of pantyhose. I
How do
should
you
have
even
had
do
on
that?
boots. I didn't even realize. See, this is what I learned in the second inauguration. I was like, I'm putting on boots. And then it was like 70. But it was a long day that started with a prayer breakfast. So I'm of course, up at 5 a.m., right? Because that's what women have to do. We have to get up to get hair and makeup done. And then the girls have to get ready, and mom, and you've got family and friends. So it's all a little spinny when that's going on. And so you go to the White House, you make that transition in the morning after the prayer breakfast, and then you get in the cars, you go to the Capitol. And that's when it gets otherworldly. When you're in the beast in that moment and you're driving down and you see the monument.
Actual vehicle, the beast.
The beast. And you don't really see the breadth of that day until we walk out of the Capitol in that moment where you see the president, the family, everybody walk out. And that's when we saw what you would say, history. It was like, oh my God, look at that. And when you grow up seeing the March on Washington, when you see the symbolism of what it means to be on the monument and you're on the other side of that, I mean, that's when you're like, whoa, this is something. And it should feel that way. You should feel the weight and the responsibility. I mean, the whole process is to ground the administration in the seriousness of the task you're about to take on and the responsibility, and that it is not about you. It is about all those people standing in the cold, hoping for some kind of change. But it's cold. And then, to do it with little kids. I mean, you remember how little the girls were? They were just so, mothers with little kids, don't fall. Are you paying attention? Are you warm enough? So I'm looking at the Bible, but I'm looking at Sasha teetering on a stool, trying to look up. Are they paying attention? Is somebody picking their nose? Because these pictures are going to be historic. So, I've got that going on in my mind while I'm trying to take this in. And I think being a mother in these moments helped to ground me because I couldn't get too wrapped up in it because there's the mothering part. Are they okay? What does this feel like for them? Do they feel seen in this moment? I mean, how are they emotionally? I'm constantly weighing their emotional energy through all of this as well. That's why clothes have to be secondary. It had to be.
Like you mean you can't think about what you're wearing?
That was always my motto. I had to set up enough of a process that allowed me to show up well, represented. But then once the clothes were on, there was just too much going on. They had to fit, they had to move, they had to be warm. I had to know we did all of that beforehand so that once hair, makeup, as my team who is here knows, it's like once it's done, don't touch me, don't look at me, don't come near me. I barely look at myself when it's over because then the work happens. And that's the point. The point isn't the look, it's the look. It's us looking out for the country. It's us looking out for the nation. It's us looking out for all those people who are depending on us. So the look goes both ways.
See, this is why you're doing my job now. I mean, because the title is infinite, right?
Yes.
It means like 1,000 different things. Can we have the next slide?
This night, that gown was just the end of it. And I will say that the choice of Jason Wu, I've said this before, was intentional. The dress was beautiful, but we were beginning to realize that everything we did sent a message. Sometimes people would read the wrong thing into a fist bump, into
everything,
into
Michelle.
everything,
into every single thing.
Which is why it's just like, look, folks, when I tell my story, I'm not whining. I don't feel put upon. This is just what happened. And I hope it doesn't offend someone for me to tell you what happened in my life, because it is what happened to me. And it is the truth. As you said, if we don't tell it, there will be other people who will try to pretend like it didn't happen, but it did. And so there were a lot of things that we had to take into account. I mean, the fact that something, anything was made of me having my arms out was just a small indication of the kind of crazy attention or standard of beauty or acceptability that was at play. So we knew that everything was going to send a message. So who I chose to design my gown was intentional. Jason was an extraordinary designer. This was not a DEI hire. It wasn't affirmative action. It was the prettiest dress. It was the best dress I put on. It made me feel ethereal. He just happened to be an immigrant kid, new to the business, who happened to be as talented, if not more, than some of the greats who always got those opportunities. Oscar de la Renta, he just got the opportunity. It was just a given. And see, that's how the world shouldn't work. At some point, we, the greats, should step aside to let some of the young people get a chance. And so that was always
you're
my
saying
point.
that in Washington, D.C.
Well, but doing that, me wearing Jason Wu, where that could have been Oscar de la Renta, it would have just been another one of his accomplishments. For Jason Wu, it changed his life. And so that's what we were trying to do with the choices that we made, was to change lives, to say something different about who belonged and who was good enough. And Jason Wu, that dress was the beginning of we're gonna do this with everything we do, including everything I put on. We're gonna rep American designers. We're gonna rep everyone. But, I didn't wear Chanel. I didn't wear beautiful clothes, but...
Let's look at some of the beautiful clothes.
Yeah, but I always repped American designers of all races, of all classes, and these are... Well, this just shows the breadth of my style evolution.
Can we talk about the Sergio Hudson? All of these. I believe these appeared together. I believe in the. I'm going to call this the breaking the internet portion of the book. Do you So I get. Sorry. I understand that one and that one in terms of kapow, kapow, kapow.
It's like blam.
But I want to say, I love this country because that one, the Sergio Hudson, the one you wore to Joe Biden's inauguration, that to me is just one of the most bewitching pieces of outfits I've ever seen anybody wear. There is so much happening here that I have never seen on anybody.
Really?
Well, think about when this was happening. Right?
Yeah.
You're wearing a mask.
Well, nobody saw anybody. That was also it, It was they were probably they're still alive. That's what I attribute some of that to. It's oh my God, Mom and Dad are still here.
But you had never worn... You had never worn anything like this. At least in terms of how we think about you in public, right? And just talk to me about how it felt to wear that. And did you feel powerful in it? Because this is a power suit.
It's a power
These are
suit.
power clothes.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about what it felt to be in them.
Well, a beautiful anything, right, makes you feel everything, right? For that particular event, I mean, we all remember what just happened. January 6th happened. So to my mind, I was really in practical mode. We didn't know what was going to happen at this inauguration because the sitting president was trying to convince us that January 6th was just a peaceful protest.
Right.
So it wasn't clear whether anybody was going to be safe. Were you safe at the Capitol where it just happened? So to my mind, where we usually travel with hair, makeup for touch-ups, staff, assistants, I said, I don't want anybody with me inside this perimeter because if something pops off, I don't want to put my team in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. So I was like, we're getting dressed. I knew I wanted to wear pants because I was thinking, if I have to run. No,
really
I mean, I'm seriously.
That's where you were.
I was thinking, I need to be comfortable. I need to, that's not a heel. The boot that I wore was a lower heel. I wanted to be able to move. I wanted to be ready.
That's what it is, though, right?
Yeah.
This is offensive and defensive.
Yes.
This is preemptive.
And any power that comes just comes with the, yeah, we're here because this is important, and it's important for us to show up. I think that's what was going through my mind, this feeling of we're going to be okay, you know. Democracy can withstand a lot, and our presence has to represent that. I don't know that it was, now the coat is beautiful, the flow of the pant was lovely, yes, all of that, but by then I wasn't wearing a lot of dresses then. I had my Becoming book tour, so I was in pants more and more because I was just shifting away from that look into something else. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I'm gonna continue that look here. And Sergio Hudson is a fabulous designer, and he's known for his suits and his coats. Meredith pulled it out, and once again, I put it on. I felt good in it. I felt warm. And we had no idea that it was going to break the internet. I mean, there's some of these moments, the Versace dress, I put that on. I was like, yeah, this one. The gold boots, it's like, yeah, these are really, really cute. And Barack is the first test, right? So I walk out, and he's like, wow. And I'm like, it's a good one, right? Yeah. But the inaugural outfit there was really a lot of practicality for me that went into that dressing because of the circumstances.
Can I read it a little more?
Please.
The belt.
Oh, the belt.
The belt is superhero, right?
You think?
I don't know this is not about
like,
you.
Dun, dun, dun,
if I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
The belt to me says Marvel. It says strength. Mm-hmm. It also says, I don't give a fuck. Like, I did this, I don't know who you did it for, but it definitely felt like that was whatever it means to say for you.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just such a...
that absolutely, once I left the White House, the responsibility of dressing for that job changed because I was not in that job anymore. I know a lot of young people say, did you feel like you have to give up part of yourself to, look, when you're a professional, you dress for the job. That's what I tell young people. It's like until you have control and power and leverage, then you better look at what your boss is wearing and act accordingly because you need a paycheck. So be smart about it. You dress for the job, and the job of First Lady was a different kind of job. When I was done with that, I was doing I was my own boss. I wasn't representing the nation in that way. So yes, and the Versace dress was the last state dinner. So that was a kind of I don't care dress. Now I will tell you that one was like, because of the dresses that were available, that rose gold, I put that on. I was like, this is sexy. It's the last one. This is like, bye. Bye.
Hi, I'm Carl Ray, and I'm Michelle Obama's longtime makeup artist. I've been on many of these sets, but I'm so excited to be in front of the camera. My first client was my mom. I would always watch her apply her makeup. When I was around 14 years old, I asked her if I could do it for her because I thought I could do a better job. She obliged, and soon after, she started asking me to do her makeup a lot. I never knew makeup was a career until I was an adult. Now my work has introduced me to so many interesting experiences. I've worked in film, TV, print, fashion, and beauty all around the world. I've also had the pleasure to work with many celebrities and dignitaries along the way, and I'd love to work with you. So the next time you're booking on Airbnb, click on the Services tab. You'll find professionals like me and my team. We can help make your next special occasion even more memorable. Weddings, galas, birthdays, headshots, or anytime you just want to feel and look your very best. You can find me at airbnb.com/services.
This episode of IMO is brought to you by Progressive Insurance, who help people move forward and live fully. Owning a home can be one of the most powerful ways to build financial security. But for many, especially first-generation buyers, it can feel out of reach. That's why I appreciate what Progressive is doing. In 2024, they contributed over $7 million to help individuals and families break the cycle of renting by providing support, offering educational resources, and developing tools to build long-term financial stability through home ownership. Their work goes beyond just insurance. They're opening doors. Through their newly created Up Payment program, Progressive is helping first-generation homebuyers move closer to the dream of home ownership by offering eligible applicants a chance to receive a down payment assistance grant. You know, owning a home for me made me feel grounded and also set me up for the future. And as a coach, when your life is dependent on wins and losses, it's really important to have the comfort of a really nice home to come home to, especially for your family. Home ownership is one of the biggest investments you'll ever make, and Progressive wants to help more people. This episode of IMO is brought to you by Cologuard, a non-invasive colon cancer screening test. The American Cancer Society now recommends that if you're at average risk, you should start screening for colon cancer at age 45. During my visit to the Cologuard lab in Madison, Wisconsin, I learned that there are an estimated 60 million adults over 45 who aren't up to date with their current screening. That's way too many. And I got to see firsthand how Cologuard is committed to changing that. And what really stood out to me is how their commitment goes far beyond the lab, from hosting community events and local health fairs to educating on prevention, sharing screening options, and providing access to preventive care. The Cologuard test is designed to help you feel more in control of your health and your screening process. The test is delivered right to your door, and you can collect your sample comfortably at home on your own schedule. Then you just ship it back to the lab and your results are ready in about 8 to 10 days. Simple as that. And the best part, you can start screening for colon cancer without all the hassle of preparing for a colonoscopy. No fasting, no drinking that prep liquid, no requesting time off work. Most insured patients even find they pay nothing out of pocket. That's why 20 million Cologuard tests have been used and hundreds of thousands of healthcare providers across the country prescribe it for their patients. There's no excuses. Get screened for colon cancer. So if you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a Cologuard prescription today at Cologuard.com/podcast. The Cologuard test is intended to screen adults 45 and older at average risk for colorectal cancer. Do not use a Cologuard test if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease, and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colorectal cancer. The Cologuard test is not a replacement for a colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Cologuard test performance in adults ages 45 to 49 is estimated based on a large clinical study of patients 50 and older. False positives and false negatives can occur. Cologuard is available by prescription only.
One photo we don't have with respect to that Versace dress that is in this book, and
Look
I
at
know
you with your tabbed book.
I put a tab on the
You all
Versace.
raised a very thorough young man.
There is a photo of. Can we talk about this one?
Oh, the back?
There's no page number.
What page? It's in the section.
That's
of
probably
the,
Robin, is that you?
It's in the section of. There's a whole section on inaugural gowns.
It's just before page 210.
So what is it? You're looking
anyway,
at the draping of it?
No.
What are you looking at? What do you see?
There's a photo of you. I never watched you from behind. I've never done it, and it's not for the reasons you think. I'm just, it just never, it's just not, that's not what we're doing here.
It looks good. It's a well.
It looks
dress.
great, but
And
I'm saying.
What are you saying?
Jeff Koons, Brancusi. This to me is like, you can see your reflection in this dress.
Yes.
And the one place where it's not draping is back there. And this is you just said.
Yes.
This IDGAF. This is Kiss My Ass.
Oh.
This is the world is looking and can see
Wesley.
themselves in this part of the dress.
Like you can see the
you
reflection.
You can't do it in the front.
Right.
In the front, it's.
Well, now you're reading a lot into.
You put the ball on the tee, Mrs. Obama. I'm going to take a swing.
Look, all of my choices ultimately are what is beautiful and what looks beautiful on. And I think as women, in the end, that's the whole point of it. One of my philosophies is that if I don't feel good in it, if I don't feel beautiful, I don't buy it. I don't pick it. I don't wear things because they're in. I don't even know whether I'm going to like a dress. I don't pick a dress from the rack because we all know something that looks good on the rack. You put it on and it's like, ooh, not for me. And that's one of the messages. It's like, if you feel good with your arms out, wear your arms out. You know, if you feel good in nylons, then put them on. That was my philosophy.
Does anybody feel good in nylon?
Some people do. I don't
asking.
know. I did not like them.
But you also look happy, like in a lot of those photos.
I'm always happy. I had a really great job and a great time doing it, and we got a lot done. I mean, there was so much joy in everything we did, and this is one of the things that I wanted to show in the book was the life of that White House. Just the vibrancy, the activity, so, you know, we could have done just a series of photos of standing in pretty dresses, but when you open this book, you see kids, you see puppies, you see all the movement because we were an active White House. And we were a joyful White House.
One of the chapters is called First Lady as a Verb.
Yeah. I mean, everything for me was about, it was about moving the ball. I mean, literally, physically moving the ball. An initiative, as my team will know in the East Wing, it was like, what are we going to do? We're not going to announce something. I didn't want to be a symbolic first lady that was a slogan first lady. It's like, you know, just say whatever. I wanted to have tangible goals and outcomes that I could see because I came from that world of running a nonprofit. I ran programs. I started things. I like to build things and see them go.
Those are great verbs. I mean, for real.
So yes, I was always a person that was thinking about moving things forward, going ahead, and that helped us get through. You know, if you're focused on the work, you know, just getting things done every day, then it makes all the hardships, all the thorns and arrows and all the haters and all the negative things, they just blow right off of you because you have an agenda in front of you. And if you focus on that agenda, which is what I would tell my team, that's what we're going to focus on. And clothes were like that too. We're going to figure out a process that we make this simple so that we're not, while I have to wear a lot of clothes, I'm not going to spend every day, I cannot spend every day thinking about what I'm going to wear. I have to have this done quickly. We fit one day a month. We had the calendar. We knew what we were doing. Meredith, my stylist, brought clothes in. We fit them. We tried them on. Done. So that the work could get done. And as I said, I was concerned about, can I hug somebody in it? Will it get dirty? I mean, I was the kind of first lady that there was no telling what I would do. You know, I mean, I'd walk out the house and
hula hoop,
and I'm doing push-ups. You know, and then people start. I mean, in the time that I think I caught a football pass from an NFL player. I played soccer with David Beckham. I did push-ups with Desmond Tutu. I have broken a Guinness World Record for jumping jacks. I mean. And this would all happen on a day, you know. It could be, you know, you're giving a speech on health here, you're meeting with the first lady of blah, 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 and now you're digging up dirt in the backyard with kids. So my clothes had to be ready for that. Because the thing about clothes that I find is that they can welcome people in or they can keep people away. And if you're so put together and so precious and things are so crisp and the pen is so big, you know, it can just tell people, don't touch me. You know, if you're not dressed to bring people in.
Great point about the
You know,
purchase.
your clothes can make people push away. So I always wanted to be able to, if a rope line was happening, if somebody was going to be in tears and need a hug, we're not wearing white. We're going to wear print if I have stuff to do, because I'm not going to push somebody away when they need something from me, and I'm not going to let the clothes get in the way of that. And I had a team of people who understood that. So, you know, there had to be a lot of thought, and that stuff had to be done well in advance.
Well, I want to talk about the team for a second, because these people seem fantastic.
They are.
They've been around the entire time. And I don't know, I mean, Yanae and Jerry and Meredith, of course, Carl.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to talk about Carl.
Yeah.
Because there's a part, I mean, you know, everybody, one of the beautiful things about this book is that everybody who is on the team has a little section of the book where they talk about how they got started, what it's been like to work with you, what the artistry that they practice, because I mean, it's work, but it also is, and it's a talent,
art.
but it also is art. And for like Carl's entry in this book, like, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read part of it because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, it is such a, it stands in for the whole of how many, many people think about you in a way that feels different from the way we've thought about people who've had this job before. And I also think that it is a testament to, I just can't imagine many other women allowing what Carl wrote to appear in print at all, because it's just, well, it's intimate.
Yeah.
And it's about you. So hold on, let me just read a little part.
Okay.
This is
I love your
This is
take on
Carl
that.
Ray writing about what it is like to do Michelle Obama's makeup.
Carl, are you listening?
Carl's here?
Carl is here.
Oh.
Carl's always here. Look at me. Don't I look like Carl's here?
All right, so I'm going to start.
Can you read it? You can't read. You can't see, can you? I I'm sitting here going, wow, he's got great eyesight.
That's good enough to get me through this. I think I can do it.
Hold it up real close. Or far away.
I think I can do it. Okay. Depending on whatever she's doing later that day, I might add to that and then use some concealer. This is about the foundation. This is a parenthetical. She inherited amazing skin from her mother and has passed it on to her girls. I set her face with powder, which allows everything else to apply smoothly, and often I do a little, quote, baking, unquote, by applying extra powder beneath her eyes, down her nose, and on her chin and forehead. We then finish with a setting spray. Her skin has red undertones, so I use warm bronze and gold tones to highlight and brighten her cheekbones and other high points of her face, and cooler brown tones for contouring and sculpting her jaw, nose, cheeks, and forehead, blending along the way to enhance the structure of her face. If she's wearing an off-the-shoulder look, I apply shimmer or glow to her shoulders and décolletage. Depending on what she's wearing, I sometimes even apply it down her arms and legs. Then I work on her eyes, my favorite part. I fill in the lids, often with gold, bronze, or soft peach, and then do a brown contour on each eye crease. I generally use a black pencil on her top lash line, sometimes follow it with a liquid eyeliner for a, quote, kitten eye. We've gone full-blown cat on special occasions. I then use a black or brown kohl eyeliner on her waterline. Now, I don't know what a waterline is. Is it just a okay. Thank you, Carl. I learned something new. I then use a black or brown kohl eyeliner on her waterline and fill in her eyebrows with a brow pencil and powder. Lips and lashes are generally last. For her mouth, I use a lip pencil, lipstick, and finish with a gloss. 75% of the time, I opt for a nude lip, which I do in a variety of tones, including peach, brown, caramel, and pink. Nothing too distracting, always enhancing. I always want the focus to be on her message. I'm gonna skip way ahead. Michelle remains my primary client. I've worked with her for 16 years, and I believe she's more beautiful now than ever before. I'm not done. She loves the fact that I'm fast. This is fast. How long does this take?
You can do that in 15 minutes.
Damn. I mean, how long did it take the Sistine Chapel to happen? Michelle remains my primary client. I've worked with her for 16 years, and I believe she's more beautiful now than she ever was before. She loves the fact that I'm fast. Sometimes she doesn't even look in the mirror when I'm done. That's his exclamation point. Look at yourself, I'll say. You're beautiful. President Obama, on multiple occasions, has said, Carl, I want to thank you for making Michelle look and feel beautiful. And he always responds, my pleasure.
He does. That's beautiful. I'm so glad you read that. Yeah.
I find that so moving because it is like the care. I didn't want to go into this really, but because it kind of doesn't need, it's so obvious, it doesn't need to be said. But this is a black woman. This is a black woman who is in the White House, a place, I mean, I don't care what they say, she was never supposed to be. The idea that you were being beautified in a place that, you know, at many points in history were responsible for making sure you couldn't even write the words White House by a white man who loved you is just, that is America to me.
That is, yes it is. Yes it is.
And I don't know, this book is deep because nobody talks about this stuff, right? I mean, you can go to YouTube and see all kinds of beauty tutorials and all that stuff, but this isn't a tutorial. It's kind of like fashion criticism. It is an artist talking about his craft.
Yeah.
It is hearing about what it is like to practice that craft on an excellent person. I'm going to say according to him, but I know, what is it? How does it feel to have gone through that experience where what is happening is on the one hand how you're supposed to look, but beneath that really is about how you're feeling?
Whew.
Even a question? Is that a question?
It's complicated because as I said before, I think that life is such during those times, even now, can be such a whirlwind. That I think this is the moment where I took the time to actually reflect on it.
So what came up for you while you were reflecting on it? I mean, we have the book, but what was it like to write it?
Well, it was beautiful. It was a book that I always knew I wanted to write. The question was always the timing of it. Because I think, quite frankly, I probably had a little PTSD. I probably still do about what I put out into the world, because I know that there will always be some kind of commentary, some reaction. You do it, you also want a reaction. I mean, I wrote this book to create a conversation among us as people, as women of color. So I knew I wanted to do this. It was just now felt like the time. I also knew that I wanted to use this as kind of a love letter to the team of people that you just wrote about, to Meredith and Carl and Yanae and Jerry. And let me just say, that team is the team that's been with me the longest, but there are so many others. All the seamstress, all the designers, Johnny Wright, who was my hairdresser during the 8 years in the White House. I think Dawn is here, who has done my nails all this time. I mean, my trainers, and it's just, this whole process of showing up for the world, there's no way I could do it without this team. And I think about how much they sacrifice, because we live in an age where it's like the odd part of the First Lady position is that I guess I'm famous, but I'm not a celebrity.
What's the difference to you?
Well, celebrity is a celebrity stylist. You're styling for beauty. You're styling to be seen. I'm styling to work. And I'm not saying that, I never walked on a red carpet other than a state dinner red carpet. I am the first, I have a job to do. And so my team has to understand that mission. And when you've worked in the beauty industry and you're used to a stylist who wants credit or wants to be seen, it's like we're not even talking about this. We did all of this and we're not talking about it, because we're also thinking about the times that we're in. How are we going to talk about fashion when there's a recession? How are we going to talk about, a pair of shoes when we need immigration reform? I mean, there is also thinking about what is appropriate to say at what time. And I always felt like fashion was the underlying story, so that meant that they had to kind of cut their shine. There was no posting, there was no behind-the-scenes gossip or talk, and to have people who were so young, let me just remind you, Yanae was 18, 19 years old when she started. You'll hear her story. And Jerry the same way. These were kids. Meredith was 28 years old. We had a very young White House, a lot of really smart young kids who came in understanding the assignment, that none of this was about them, me. We were there to support the commander-in-chief. We were there to represent the country. Everybody took their job seriously. They didn't make money. There was no glamour to it, in an industry of glamour. This was about message and service, and the fact that they were willing to make that sacrifice right alongside of us, riding in, bad, sweaty vans, taking helicopter rides that were precarious, being on boats, being in holds in Africa with no air conditioning and no lights and through thunderstorms. I mean, this was not a glamorous job, but they did it and did it well. So I want their stories to be told because this is what this work is, We as women, we don't get to just show up any kind of way. We don't have the luxury yet to just wake up and throw on a tie and call it a day. There's a lot of... And I think this book is, this book is kind of speaking for all of us, for all that work that we do that sometimes goes unacknowledged. I mean, I even saw it when we did foreign trips. The West Wing didn't necessarily plan a trip for a woman. They wouldn't think about the cobblestones or the rain or the grass or the terrain, but yet here I am following my husband around in a pair of heels or, because what a man has to do is if it's casual, you take the jacket off. If it's formal, you put the jacket on. You take the tie off, you put the tie on. It's like we don't get to do that. But I'm with him every step of the way. I'm doing it's like the Ginger Rogers thing. I'm doing the same thing, giving speeches, but I'm doing it with heels and walking backwards. And it's not just me, it was our Secretary of State. It was all of our senior advisors. It was Nancy Pelosi. When I would think about these women who are along on these codels and they're trying to keep it together and keep their hair in place and the men are just in their stupid suits, just not thinking, not asking a question, not realizing all the machinations that have to go on for us to stand up and show up. And we feel like we have to do this stuff quietly, like it just happens. It isn't magic. It's a lot of frickin' work. And it takes care.
I think that's also the 4 pounds, right? Like the work, I mean, they worked, y'all worked, so we work, right? Like to lift this, to carry it. I got to take 2 of these back.
Okay.
I put them tellingly in my garment bag. Did anybody, you're talking about these, the difference for women in this experience in terms of like what you all had to, just what it's like to put on clothes, period. Did anybody talk to you just about how to not look or how to look during those years? Did you get advice from anybody?
No.
Okay.
No, there isn't a handbook for it. That was one of the excellent things that Meredith was able to do, and most of this was very important on foreign travel because, even the state dinner at Buckingham Palace, to wear gloves, to not wear gloves, that is the question.
You wore the gloves.
I wore the gloves, but there were so many meetings about those gloves and were they appropriate and who wore them? Did the Queen wear them? And then what did other first ladies do? And the State Department, they weren't that helpful. they didn't have the strong opinion about it. And let me tell you, if I showed up as the first black first lady and didn't have something appropriate, you remember when I touched the Queen? After she touched me, it's like, she touched me first, y'all. She did. And I felt like it was rude not to touch her back. Or you wear a cardigan. I mean, we're out in the country, in the world, representing the country. That takes work. A visit with the Pope, the amount of requirements to visit the Pope, a mantilla, you've got to have your arms covered, you've got to cover your knees. That's if you can be in the Sistine Chapel in shorts and a t-shirt, but if you're going upstairs to see the Pope, there is a way to dress. And some of that comes from the State Department, but some of that work was Meredith, researching what other first ladies wore and calling designers, people on the ground who knew. And because she did that work, I didn't have to. I could be there and do the work and know that what I had on was appropriate. Those are things that male leaders do not have to think about. If you were visiting an Arab country, the amount of rules and who you can touch and who you can't and what you can't do as a woman, all of that it matters very much. So that becomes a real, that's a real diplomacy issue. That if you get it wrong, maybe you wear the wrong color, or a color in a certain country could mean something. So you're constantly sending messages with everything you do. And for me, there's absolutely no way that I could get to a foreign country, because I was also working there, giving speeches, meeting with young girls, doing work there. And then I had my kids as well, and they had to be dressed appropriately. You had to wear something to get off the plane, then you had to get in the car, and then you had to wear something to just the amount of packing that would take for a foreign trip. That was all Meredith. There was one person doing that for me, my girls, my mom, if she traveled, managing outfits, steaming, getting things ready for event after event after event. That's a lot of work, y'all.
Yeah. We've got to go. But I've just got my sister my sister and her friends had some questions.
Okay.
We have time for one. It's a question I share, which is basically, do you get advice from your daughters about what to wear and what not to wear?
No, let me not laugh at that. No. The girls, yes, I get you look good, Mom, or that works. I know if they go in my closet a lot.
That's a sign of approval.
Oh, for sure. But they, as they get older, they're starting to respect what I have. I mean, I remember I was going to give Sasha an Alaya dress that I had. And for those of you, Alaya is she's like, well, why would I want that? And I was like, ooh, you just don't know. You just don't know. But now they're starting to know. It's just been fun watching them come into their own style. They're very different girls. They have their unique style. I find that I'm now at a point where I'll see something cool that they have, a jacket or a shoe, and I'm like, where'd you get that? No, we're doing more of that. They're like, where'd you get that? But that's very different. Teenage children, that Brandy Melville period, I'm sorry. But that's those short dresses, and they went through, they were just like every young teenager. They wanted the stuff off of the web. They wanted to go to the mall. They wanted, they thought designer clothes were for old people. And so they're just now, as they're coming into their own professions, they're just now starting to appreciate the quality of clothes and to understand dressing for, being out in the world. So we're starting to develop a more shared fashion story together.
And it's like a new thing for you to talk about?
No.
Okay.
With girls, you're always... Look, Sasha was beating her face from the time she was 11 years old, because this is the thing about this new generation. Social media introduces them to a lot of stuff early on. I didn't wear makeup until Oprah came over. I mean, literally, you take one picture that appears in the press with no makeup on, and you're like, I need a makeup artist, because I don't wear makeup all the time, but when you are filmed and seen, it does make a difference. You do not show up on TV without makeup. Barack will get touched up. He's learning that too. So I didn't grow up wearing makeup, but the girls, you guys who have young girls, they all know how to do their makeup because of social media. They all go on these websites and they know how to powder and contour in ways that are amazing to me. So Sasha was doing that for the longest, and Barack was like, she's just wearing too much makeup. And I was like, it's a phase, This is what he had to understand. Girls, we play. We play in these spaces, and I was like, let them play. They will get to the point where they will decide as women on their own what they can afford to do, what they have time to do. I was like, they get to the point, it's like Sasha, the minute she gets in college, when she doesn't have any time, no makeup, and lo and behold, she chose sleep over the extra time to put that. So it's just slowly, it's like, woo, yeah, that hour routine, you can do that when you finish your homework and you're just at home, but...
You could learn from Carl how to do it in 15 minutes.
That's true. She's gotten faster. But that's the beauty of having young girls around, just watching them. And I give credit to this new generation, the younger generation. A lot of this openness, the sharing comes from that. They want authenticity. They want to hear your truth. They don't want things to be powdered over or smoothed over. And they're honest. And I think my decision to wear braids more and more comes from a whole generation of young Black girls who are embracing their natural hair, who are no longer using relaxers, who are saying, take me as I am, who are embracing their beauty. And as I said, I wanted to be a part of supporting them in that journey. And I know that me being Michelle Obama, the first former First Lady, wearing braids in the White House mattered. And that was a deliberate decision that I made to support young girls that are trying to break old patterns and norms that don't serve them as young girls. And I credit that generation, and I want them to continue to be themselves and show up in ways that make sense for them, not following some limited stereotype of what beauty is. And I say that not just to girls of color, but to all women. That's what we need to break out of, is this one narrow standard of what is acceptable and beautiful. I hope that what I've shown is that beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. There isn't one way to wear your hair. There isn't one way to look professional. There isn't one way of showing up as an American. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us as women not to look for us to look like each other. We should embrace the power of how different we are. Our hair texture, our sizes and shapes, it's all beautiful and it's all important and it all matters. But we have to fight for it, because if we let somebody else set those standards for us, we will be trapped in this narrow definition.
We got in this mess in the first place.
This is how we got in this mess, in this place in the first place. So yes. So I hope that this empowers us as women, as people, to embrace all of who we are, whatever that looks like.
Michelle Obama, everybody!
Thank you, Wesley! You all, thank you, DC. Thank you for
so
buying
much.
the book. Wonderful crowd. You all take care. Good night.
Hope you're ready, because it's officially November. We are in holiday hustle mode and it's game time. It got me thinking, what's the one thing that you most want for your brand this time next year? For me, the one thing I want next year is more of that sweet sound of the continuous cha-chings. And that's why I'm talking about Shopify. Look, whether you're running a side hustle or a storefront, selling locally or globally, Shopify takes the guesswork out of starting a business. For all my solo entrepreneurs out there, Shopify basically operates as your back office, replacing the need for a full staff to oversee operations. But here's the game changer. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, and their entire suite of AI tools. Directions, reports, editing images, content ideas. Shopify's got your next move covered. Plus, built-in social selling means you can sell right where your audience is scrolling. Whether you're selling merch, products, or the next best idea, make sure you do it via Shopify at shopify.com/IMO. For $1, it's time to put that business idea into action and start the next chapter. Again, that's shopify.com/IMO. One link that has the potential to change your future.